Today, we're taking a look at money and how the energy moves through money. Money is steeped in energy. Working with your beliefs and feelings around money is one of the absolute very best ways to learn how energy works, not just about money, but all energy, and to learn how to use the power in your conscious mind to create abundance in your life, even if you don't wish to create money itself. So whether you're looking for more love, more happiness, or actually just more money, learning how the energy moves through money is a great way to learn how the energy moves through everything. So in this episode, we'll be looking at all of that. Money is such a dirty word for many people, and yet we all need it. And if we're honest with ourselves, most of us want more money. And yet we love to hate those who are rich and have created an abundance of money in their lives. And many of us decide to hang out with those who don't have much money because that makes us feel more comfortable. If we don't have much money and we hang out with those who do, we either feel very lucky or else we feel inferior. Hanging out with rich people can make us feel less than. No matter which way you slice the pie, money and all our ideas around money are filled to overflowing with all kinds of emotional energy. Let's dig into some of that. The difference between money and almost anything else is that money is already preloaded with all kinds of negative energy. And so in order to be successful in manifesting money, we have to dismiss or turn around some of the beliefs we might be holding on to about money. This is a very hot topic. But if you bear with me, I think you'll get the idea and be able to generate more money in your life if you should want it. We say things like, I don't want your dirty money. And we say things like, don't throw good money after bad. But so what is good money and what is bad money? Money itself is neutral. It's just bits of paper or digits in your online bank account. So it's the energy that went into creating that money that we hold rigid beliefs around. We don't want money that was earned dishonestly, but we slave away and sweat blood for a little bit of money, then that's good money. If we scrimp and save and go without in order to collect a little money, that's hard-earned money, and that's good money. That's what we think. And at the end of this episode, I will talk about some tricks to attract more money into your life. But first, let's start with some common misconceptions that we are indoctrinated into from birth. A big one is, money can't buy happiness. Oh, really? So sailing on a chartered yacht across the Aegean Sea on a sunny day in a gentle breeze, with good friends, good food, no pressures, and nothing at all to stress over, wouldn't make you happy? Or if the ocean's not your thing, how about a private helicopter ride over the snow-covered Rockies or the Grand Canyon? Still not your thing? What is? What is financially out of reach for you but would give you a lot of happiness if you could have that experience? A nice new car, a nice big house. Just to be clear, I'm not saying that money will buy you total happiness. Rich people experience loss, grief, trauma, just like the rest of us. Rich people have their breaking points, their turning points, their principles, just like we do. Having money per se doesn't make you a bad person any more than having no money makes you a good person. A person's character comes from how they deal with life, how they deal with other people, and how they use their innate gifts in the world. This is true both of those who have money and those who don't. I propose that money can buy you a certain amount of happiness. Of course, it's not going to solve all your problems, but look at it this way. When your car breaks down, if you don't have money, what happens? Without your car, you can't get to work, so you can't earn the money you need to fix the car, so you get deeper and deeper into the no money hole. You never get traction. If you have money, you simply call a tow truck, rent a car while yours is in the shop, and get back on with it. Which situation do you think would make you happier? Because for me, it would be the second scenario, where I simply throw money at the problem and keep on keeping on. If you have money, you have the means to solve many of life's problems, and you can do it without even thinking about it. If you don't have money, the first thing on your mind always when something goes wrong is, how much is this going to cost me, and how the heck am I going to pay for it? This makes life very hard. So let's review that belief again. Money can't buy happiness. Really? I think it can buy you a certain amount of happiness, and it certainly makes life easier. There's no doubt about it. So let's look at how to improve our money status. Now, I'm not talking about get-rich-quick schemes. That would be a different kind of show. I'm talking about how to energetically attract money into your life through the law of attraction. The first thing I think it's important to understand is that money is an exchange of energy. I work, you pay me. You work, I pay you. If you want something that I have to offer, I charge you money for it. If I want to purchase something, I decide how much of my money it's worth. Is it worth 1 hour's salary, 2 hours' salary, 1 month's salary? We measure the worth of something according to how much energy it will take for us to pay for it. At my current rate of income, it would take just simply too much of my time and energy to earn enough money to buy a yacht, and so I don't have one. Now, I personally don't have a burning desire to acquire a yacht, but if I did, there are other ways to get one besides money. I could marry someone who has one, or become friends with someone who has one. I could look for a job working on a yacht and a variety of other things, and this would at least bring me into the energy of yachts. Once I've introduced yachts into my daily life, and I'm in the energy, in the flow of yachts, eventually the synchronicities will line up, and I may very well end up owning my own yacht someday. It might start out being an old beaten up one, but then later on maybe a better one. Do you see? If you want something, you have to put yourself in the way of it, in the energy of it. But if I want a yacht really badly, and I'm never around yachts, the universe is unlikely to bring that into my life because I'm not showing the universe that I am serious. We do this all the time with money. We skirt the issue, we avoid the issue, we tell ourselves that money is evil, that those who have money are evil, and then we wonder why we can't attract it into our life. Do you see how that works? It's just like someone who is trying to make it in Hollywood. They move to Los Angeles. You can't make it in Hollywood if you live in upstate New York. It makes no sense. So the first thing to understand about money is that you have to start putting your energy into the money you already have and put your focus on money. You have to move into the energy of money, into the flow of money. That's how it works. If you think of money as dirty and people who have money as being distasteful in some way, you will never have money. You must change your beliefs around money and make it welcome into your life, and make those who have money welcome in your life, welcome in your awareness. To many of us, this is foreign because we believe money is evil, and to focus on money makes us bad people. But how else are you going to attract it into your life? What logic says that having a little bit of money, but not enough to have the lifestyle we would like to have, what logic says that makes us good people? Whereas having enough money to give us the lifestyle we would like to have, what logic makes us bad people? There's no logic in that. So if you want more money in your life, you must put your focus on money, and you must start to appreciate money as good energy. That's how energy works. I once had a client. She had no money. She actually could have had money because she had a decent job with the government, but I don't know what she did with her money, but somehow she never seemed to have any. And she wanted to lose weight, and that's why she came to see me. So I asked her what she ate for dinner last night, and she said macaroni and cheese from a box. I told her that if she wants to lose weight, the macaroni and cheese in a box had to go. I gave her all kinds of diet advice. Several weeks later, she came back, and I said, "Have you lost any weight?" And she said no. And I asked her what she had for dinner last night, and she said macaroni and cheese in a box. And I said, "Weren't we going to get rid of the macaroni and cheese in a box?" And she said, "Well, I bought it in bulk, and I paid good money for it, and I can't afford to waste it. So I have to eat it until it's gone." So here's another belief I want to break down for you. When you can't afford to waste something that's holding you back from reaching your goals, you're telling the universe that you are in lack. You don't have enough money to waste. You can't manifest from a place of lack. All you can manifest from a place of lack is more lack. Like attracts like. When you need to get rid of something that cost you your hard-earned money, it would be better to say something to yourself like, "It's only money, I'll make more." Or, "Thank God for my abundance. Thank God that I can afford to throw this away in the interests of my health or in the interests of meeting my goals," whatever it is. Now you've made room for something better, more suitable for you in your life. Do you see that? If it's something of value you need to get rid of, like a piece of furniture that no longer works in your home, but you paid a lot of money for it perhaps, then you can give it away rather than throw it away or sell it for a small price. And that way you're distributing happiness. Someone else will get a good bargain, and that will make them feel good. And that will make you feel good because you made someone feel good. And then you can tell yourself that you are so well off, you can afford to be generous to other people and give away things from your life that make others happy. So now the universe will bring more things into your life so that you can eventually give them away, so you can keep making other people happy. Because the universe wants us all to be happy. So again, you're leveraging the law of attraction here. You get more of what you focus on. And if you're not worried about giving things away after you're done with them, then you'll get more and more things that you can enjoy for a while and then give away. Your words, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions create your world. This is what we mean by that. So why not exercise your generous heart and appreciate how you're making people happy rather than how you're wasting your money? It's a simple change of perspective, and it's so easy. As we said before, money is just a piece of paper that represents the exchange of energy. So why not exchange happiness for your money? If it's not your happiness, you'll be contributing to the happiness in the world and the abundance of happiness at large. When someone gets something for a great price, it creates feelings of gratitude and joy. We celebrate and appreciate the bargains in our life. Good karma goes around and comes around just like bad karma. So you will also get great bargains into your life when you create them for other people. This is how energy works. Let's look at another belief we're indoctrinated into. You can't take it with you. No, you can't. And I fully endorse the idea that the first question God asks you when you slide home through those pearly gates is not going to be, "So, my dear, how much money did you make?" No. God's going to ask you a completely different set of questions, and I believe the first question he will ask is, did you grow in love and compassion? But while we're spending time on earth, why should we not aspire to enjoy it and make it comfortable for ourselves? In our current system here on earth, whether we like it or whether we don't, this requires money. I personally look forward to a future when we break the paradigm of money completely. That's my wish for humanity. However, we're not quite there yet as a society. We are going there, I fully believe that. The love of money does most certainly sometimes foster the energy of corruption, of evil, of power-mongering. It contributes to the reasons why crimes are committed, and so on. All of that is true. But we live in a universe of duality. Hermes said, everything is on a spectrum, the law of polarity. There is a good side and a bad side to everything. There is black and white. There is night and day. There is happiness and sadness. Money has a bad side, to be sure. But according to universal law, it therefore also has a good side. And if we look at that good side, if we leverage that good side, then we can use it to create comfort and a joyful existence for us and for many people. It's true you can't take it with you. The energy behind this belief is don't bother to make money because you can't take it with you when you die. Your soul goes to heaven when you die and the money stays here on earth. So what's the point? Well, here's the point. Many people live to be 80 years old or 100 years old, and in some cases even older. To spend 80 years scrimping and scraping and not having the basic necessities, not having what others have, not having nice, beautiful things in your life, not having a roof over your head, and not knowing where the next meal is going to come from, living in squalor, living on the streets, making do instead of having what you need to make life comfortable. Do you really think that a kind and loving God would wish this for his children? Do you wish it for your children? No, you can't take it with you, but the money you make or collect here on earth represents your energy. It represents your honest hard work, your conscientious effort, your positive contribution to the world through your job, through your investments, through your wise handling of money. And you can use it to make your life here better, and you can leave it to your children, or to the Humane Society, or to an organization that's helping make other people's lives better. And that way, you can leave a little bit of your positive energy here as a legacy to help those who still have to be here, to help those who still have to endure. If you have children, why wouldn't you want to provide them a better life by leaving them a little bit of money or a lot of money so that their life doesn't have to be miserable? So they can afford to rent a car when they have to put their car in the shop or buy themselves a new car. Who wouldn't want that for their children? When good people make money, have money, inherit money, and use money wisely, it does something much more important too. It balances the energies of dirty money. We need this balance. We need people who love money to use it wisely and generously in their own lives and in the lives of those they love. Let's look at something for a moment. If somebody comes into your home and robs you of your possessions and sells your possessions for money, then that money has negative energy. But if you work hard and honestly, putting your best into your job and you earn money for that, that money has positive energy. We need the balance. We need to build up energy on the positive end of the spectrum of money. Otherwise, the bad guys win, and the good guys keep on scrimping and saving in an endless saga of money debt slavery. Let's turn now to the biblical teachings. There are many references in the Bible to money. Most of them tell us that money is evil. For example, in Matthew chapter 19, it says that it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. I invite you to set aside your religious upbringing for a minute, if it influences you, and move into your logical mind for a moment. Just suspend, as they say, your disbelief, just for a moment. For we all know today that there have been many twists and turns in the translations of the Bible. Most people have heard of the Council of Nicaea, presided over by the Emperor Constantine in the year 325. The emperor summoned his bishops together and they made a command decision over what books would be included in the New Testament and which ones would be discarded. They did this in the name of the Roman Empire in order to retain their authority, their power, and their control. Now, if you look up the etymology or the original meaning of the word rich, you will find out that the earlier meaning of this word in the English language had to do more with power and authority than it did with financial wealth. The meaning of financial wealth was a meaning that developed later on around the word rich, much later on, way past the life of Jesus. So it's possible that Jesus might have been saying that those who seek to have power over others cannot pass into the kingdom of heaven, rather than those who have money cannot pass into the kingdom of heaven. I'm just brainstorming this with you, but just think about it with me. Now, Jesus had an uncle, Joseph of Arimathea. Joseph of Arimathea was a reasonably well-off man. He was a merchant who traveled to Europe, to France and England, and conducted international trade. He owned a tomb, which he gave to Jesus after Jesus was hung on the cross. Joseph of Arimathea sounds like a kind and generous man, doesn't he? Do you think that Jesus would have thought badly of his own kind and generous uncle because he was wealthy? Do you think Jesus was upset that his wealthy uncle fortuitously had a tomb in which to put his body and provide him with a safe place from which to resurrect? Or do you think that might have been a synchronicity that supported the divine plan? You know, it was not common in biblical times to own your own tomb. That was the province of the wealthy. So we have to use our discernment and think about the beliefs we've been raised into before we adopt them as our beliefs, simply because someone else told us to. We have to use our thinking mind, our logical brain, instead of believing everything we are told. We have to learn to think for ourselves and question all our beliefs. When you read the scripture, you must read it through certain filters because things are not always what they seem, and the meanings of words have changed over time. Not only that, but there have been so many translations of the Bible, and in each translation, the original meaning is sometimes obscured, twisted, or simply misunderstood. This has been both deliberate and accidental. If your belief around money is centered on biblical teachings, then it might be time for you to take a closer look at the Bible through new eyes. It's easier for a rich man to pass through the eye of a needle than to go to heaven. Really. We all go to heaven, whatever you believe that to be. No one is left behind, because heaven, in reality, is simply a dimension beyond this one. Think of someone you know and have respected who also had a substantial amount of money. They might be someone in your family or someone famous you can think of. Don't think of the people you don't like who have money, but think of the people you do like who have money. Can you think of someone? There are a lot of people who have had money and done good things with it. People have built libraries, universities, parks, museums, theaters, event centers, even whole towns and communities with their money. Famous people have raised great sums of money for charity and used their wealth to help others. Many wealthy people leave their money to hospitals, to animal shelters, to philanthropic organizations, or simply to their children to continue their legacy. Now ask yourself, do you think God denied all those people access to heaven? I don't think so. Because I don't think heaven is a place with a gatekeeper and an accountant at the gate. Only poor people are allowed in. What nonsense. What's the threshold anyway? How much money constitutes being rich versus being poor? What's the amount we have to stay under in order to get into heaven? Heaven is simply the name we give to the dimension of reality that we all end up in after we leave the earthly plane. The reckoning happens karmically. What goes around comes around. You get back what you put out. If you put out goodness, you get back goodness, even if you earned a little money along the way, or even if you earned a lot of money. That's how it works. This is law number 6 of the 7 Hermetic principles, the law of cause and effect. Some call it the law of karma. Let's look at one more indoctrination about money, and then we'll get into the tricks you can use to energize the law of attraction and bring more money into your life. They say that money is the root of all evil. This is another biblical verse from the first book of Timothy, chapter 6, verse 10. In Timothy, it says, "For the root of all evils is the love of money. Desiring it, some have wandered away from the faith and entangled themselves in many pains." Now, this saying is not attributed to Jesus. The book of Timothy is advice from the aging apostle Paul to the young pastor Timothy. It's an opinion, not an edict or a commandment. Rather, it is Paul proselytizing to Timothy and effectively laying out the rules for the early church and the conduct of Christians within the church. In the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which talk more about the actual teachings of Jesus, we don't get any such commentary on money. There is the incident in the temple where Jesus berates the moneylenders for lending money and collecting interest on it. That's what usury is. That's what they were doing, is charging money for lending money. Other than that incident, there is not much mention in the 4 primary Gospels about money. Jesus doesn't comment much on money in the rest of the Gospels, except for one parable, which we'll get to in a minute. So let's question the source here of the first letter to Timothy. The first letter to Timothy is a letter from the Apostle Paul to Timothy. I encourage you to go read this if you still believe that you should not aspire to wealth because money is the root of all evil. This letter is not very long. It's barely 7 pages in my Bible. Here's what Paul says earlier in the same letter, and this comes from chapter 2, verses 9 through 13. I quote, "Similarly, women are to wear suitable clothes and be dressed modestly and sensibly without braided hair or gold and jewelry or expensive clothes, but with good works as is proper for women who profess reverence for God. During instruction, a woman should be quiet and respectful. I give no permission for a woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She should remain quiet." This is the same letter in which Paul says to Timothy, money is the root of all evil. In contrast, let's take a look at what Matthew talks about in the parable of the talents. I'm referring to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25. In this parable, the master gave 5, 2, and 1 talents to 3 different servants. Now, a talent is a sum of money. That's clear from the text. And if you don't believe me, go and read it, because it says so right there in the text. The servant who received 5 talents doubled his money through trade. The servant who received 2 talents also doubled his money in the same way. The man who received 1 talent buried his money and made no more. Now, when the master asked the servants what they had done with their money, he praised the 2 servants who doubled their money. He said, and I quote, "Well done, good and trustworthy servant. You have been trustworthy in small things. I will put you in charge of many." And so the servants who doubled their money got a promotion. To the servant who did nothing with his money and made no effort to invest or trade it, the master said, "You wicked and lazy servant. You should have deposited my money with the bankers, and on my return, I would have got my money back with interest." Now that is the Gospel of Matthew, reporting the teachings of Jesus, the parable of the talents. So now you decide if you still want to believe that having money is the root of all evil, or if you should be investing your money, as Jesus taught us in that parable, in order to make more. I believe it makes you evil to convince people for thousands of years that they should not have any money. We can clearly see that this is not the essence of the teachings of Jesus. Jesus wants us to take our money and double it. Do not have blind faith, people. Use the brain God gave you to question beliefs that you have been hammered into your head since birth. Look into these things. Read the Bible for yourself, and you will see things that they are not teaching you in your church. Look up the etymology of words. That means the original meanings lost over time. And then just meditate on what you learn and use your own logic and detach from the passions of Bible thumpers who are victims, not heroes, of the authorities that seek to take our power away from us. Power is not given, it's taken. Take up yours. Money certainly fosters in some people an energy of greed, corruption, and abuse of power and evil, but it's not the only root of evil. Pedophilia does not have to do with money as much as it has to do with lust and a psychopathic or twisted mind. Murder is not always the result of money. Sometimes it's the result of jealousy and hatred. Also, while money might be at the root of some evil, not all money leads to evil. This is an important distinction, and I've already talked about the spectrum. There is good and bad in everything, and money's no exception. I've already given you examples of positive outcomes from using money wisely and sensibly. When you rid money of all the connotations of good and evil and take a neutral position on it, we see that money is an exchange of energy. That's all it is. I have something you need. It might be a light bulb or a car or the ability to give you a healing session. That something that I have represents the energy I invested in obtaining it or in learning the skill to provide it to you. But in order for the balance of energy to be equal between us, then I need something in exchange for giving it to you. In ages past, we've used salt, seashells, and other things to represent the energy of exchange. Today, we use money. We have agreed as a global society that money at the present moment is the way we will pay for receiving goods and services that other people have put their energy into providing. The money we spend is money we have earned by investing our energy into something. So our money represents our energy, and we exchange that for something that someone else has put their energy into. And so that is the fair exchange, the fair energy exchange. Well, at least let's just say it's fair for the sake of argument here. In an ideal world, it would be a fair exchange. I realize that's not always true, but that's a rabbit hole we won't go down right now. The point I'm trying to make is that money is simply an energy medium that we are using to represent an exchange, a trade. I trade you a Reiki session for your money. You earn your money by trading your services for it. The money is just a medium by which I give of my energy and you receive it, or you give of your energy and I receive it. So I hope I've convinced you that having money, needing money, wanting money, and spending money are not bad things at all, if the energy you put into how you spend your money and how you earn your money is honest and true. Even Jesus encouraged us to invest our money and make more. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. So now we've got all that out the way, let's look at how to attract more money into our lives. There are some tricks we can use to attract and manifest more money, and we can use that for a happier, richer experience in this life, or leave it as a legacy to those you love or to other worthy causes. So the first trick is to welcome all money into your life. Even a penny that you find on the street is a gift from heaven. If you're trying to make more money and you see a penny on the street and you don't stop to pick it up because it's just a penny, You are telling the universe you're not interested in money. If, on the other hand, you bend down and pick up that penny and wash it off and say to yourself, how fantastic is this? I'm trying to manifest money into my life, and the universe is already throwing money at me. This is the attitude to have. Every little penny that you manifest is important from an energy perspective. This little snowball of energy and of money will grow for you if you appreciate it and show gratitude. Say to yourself, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bring me more. How can I double my money? Visualize money flowing into all your accounts and money apps. See the balances grow in your mind's eye. Don't get hung up worrying about where it's coming from. Just see the dollar balance going up and up over time. Make a list of all the things you want to buy with your money and see yourself having these things in your life. Again, don't worry about where the money's coming from. Just visualize the things you purchase with it. Visualize yourself investing it and seeing your accounts grow. In order to manifest, we have to show the universe we are serious. So this is another important step. Just like the yacht or moving to Hollywood, as I talked about earlier, so we have to generate a flow of energy around money coming into our life. Here are some of the things I do. You might be able to think of other things too. Create a savings account to separate from your main bank account where you can tuck money away. Now, when I say money, I'm including all types of money. So if you prefer to accumulate crypto or investments in gold and silver, that's still money for purposes of this discussion. But it's important to have a separate account where you store it, because if you do want to have money, you shouldn't spend it all as soon as it arrives, or you will still never have any. So you have to save some up, be it ever such a small amount at first, until you're able to save more. As soon as you have enough money in your savings account, you can move it over into an investment account. Then you can start growing through the power of investing. Most investment accounts, such as mutual funds and electronically traded funds, etc., require minimum investment amounts. So you have to save that up first, and then you can use it to start an investment fund. You'll have to do your own research around all of that. I can't give you that advice here, but what I do know is that it takes money to make money. You need an initial investment amount, and then you can grow that. The more you have, the more you will earn through the power of compounding. Any financial advisor can tell you that. And there are tons of books and lots of information on that. So get savvy, get smart, learn about money, learn about investment instruments, and then start to use them to make money for yourself. And then when you have your savings account in place, an important thing to do is to pay yourself first. This is a very important concept. For every dollar that you make, put a small amount of it directly into your savings account. Pay yourself first before you pay off any bills or make any purchases. Fund your savings account, even a small amount, because it's the energy of paying yourself first that will help to build the momentum to attract more money into your life. And then you can use that to pay yourself more as time goes on. If this is hard to understand, just get started, be patient and consistent, and see what happens. This is how I started. At first, I couldn't afford to pay myself much, but over the years, I was able to pay myself more and more, and then it grew and grew until I achieved a state of what I would just call financial stability, which is where I am today. I'm not rich by some people's standards, but I'm very comfortable and have everything I need. When my car breaks down, I just rent another one or buy another one. That's where I am today. Next, make a budget. Every tablet and computer has a spreadsheet on it, or you can do it with a pencil and paper if you prefer. Take the time to make a budget. Start with how much money you received that month, and then keep track of everything you spend. Account for every penny you spend. Write down everything you spend money on. Where's your money going? Wherever you are spending your money, that's where you're putting your energy. That's what you are giving your energy to. So if you're buying fast food with your money, you're giving your energy to the fast food giants who care about making money while serving you cheap, unhealthy food. If you are buying organic produce, you're giving your money to the organic farmers who care about growing healthy food. America's made its voice heard in recent times by refusing to spend money on certain woke corporations, which I won't go into, but you know who they are, and spending it instead on companies that care about their employees and take pride in the products they produce and sell. This is a growing movement right now. And it's a very simple formula, and it works. It's living proof that you create more of what you focus on. So if you focus your money energy on good, wholesome things, you will get more good, wholesome things in your life. By the way, the very act of making a budget is putting a focus on money and saving money and spending money wisely. This action in itself will send out positive vibrations into your money vortex to attract more money to you. It's the focus thing again. So take this tip seriously and keep a budget and check your budget and analyze where your hard-earned money is going and redirect it when you realize it's feeding something you don't want to support. We talked about visualizing money coming into your accounts. Whenever it does, go and take a look physically at your account. Don't just visualize this, but actually do it. Put your focus on the money growing in your account. Do this every month. Count your money. Watch it grow. And when it does, give thanks. Be in gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bring me more. Now, another important trick I've learned over the years is to give money away. This one is very important because it sends the message that you have abundance and you can afford to be generous with those who don't. When you give money away to worthy causes, watch how quickly it comes back to you. This really works, and it's a very important step. Don't give more than you can afford, and don't give it to unworthy causes. If you can't afford anything at all, start with dropping pennies or quarters on the ground for other people to find. You know how they say that if you find a penny or a dime on the ground, that's your angel sending you a message of encouragement? Be someone's angel. Just do something that shows you intend to use your money for good. I can't tell you how many times this has worked for me. Whenever I start to feel poor or I've had a string of unexpected expenses that has drained my bank account, instead of wallowing in the lack of money, I give money away. I give it away. And I say, wow, I'm so lucky. I can spend all of this money that I didn't even know that I could afford to spend, and I've still got enough left over to give away to somebody else. This is how you create abundance. It's all in how you use the energy. Also, look at where your money's coming from. Where is your income coming from, and how can you improve that? Can you ask for a raise or a promotion? Can you move to a better paying job? Do you have a degree in something you're not using? Do you have a skill or a hobby that you can use to create a second stream of income? Don't settle. Exercise your power. Take up your power. Be active. Be proactive. Don't take out loans you can't afford to pay back for education you don't need. I've watched so many people take more and more online classes and they never get the return on their investment because they don't take action to use what they already learned. No matter where you are in life right now, you have enough talent to make money doing something. If you need more education, earn the money first, then spend what you earn on the education. That's an investment. Don't take out loans if you don't have money to pay them back. That will keep you in the money debt slavery rut. Instead, look for apprenticeships or internships that will pay you to learn instead of paying to learn. Ask for opportunities at work and prove you are reliable and dependable. These are much better strategies. And finally, pay off your credit cards and stop using credit to get by as soon as you can possibly afford to. Stop spending money you don't have. Make an effort to do this. It's so important. Just like paying yourself first, which we talked about earlier. You have to pay more than the minimum on your credit cards to get traction. So figure out a plan in your budget to put as much as you possibly can against your credit cards every month, and then stop using them. Pay them off. Again, there are lots of people who talk about this. They talk about starting with the smallest debt first and eliminating it. Then you can use the money you are spending on that debt to increase the amount you've been paying on another debt until you pay that one off, and so on. You will never have money if you can't catch up and get ahead of your debt. So we've talked about the energy and money, we've talked about the beliefs around money, and we've talked about the practical aspects of attracting more money into your life. When you create positive beliefs around money and focus on the good things you can do with it, then you can also take positive actions towards creating more money in your life. It has to come to you. Give it some time, but keep it up and don't give up. Be grateful for every penny and every opportunity to make more money, and it can't help but start to flow into your life. That's the universal law of attraction. It's physics. And so I hope you've enjoyed this video or podcast. If you got something useful from it, please give it a thumbs up and give me a positive comment down below. I appreciate you for being here with me today. I am the light. You are the light. And together we are the great light rising. Peace, my friend. Thank you for listening. I'm Mary Fielder. I'm a holistic health practitioner. I practice homeopathy, Reiki, and I'm a biofield tuning practitioner. I am a Reiki teacher, and on my website, thereikiplace.us, you will find my Reiki class schedule, and you will also find a contact form if you wish to get in touch with me and book a session with me. And I do a 20-minute free discovery session. So if you're not sure what you need and you're not sure what's going on with you, we can just chat for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and that might give you a bit more clarity on how you need to proceed on your healing journey.